We come on the air right now. The accused mastermind in the multi-million-dollar Feeding Our Future fraud trial just finished testifying in her own defense.
Co-defendant Amy Bach is charged with conspiracy, wire fraud, and bribery. Gordon Severson is live at the federal courthouse in Minneapolis. Gordon, what a surprise today.
Yeah, court just wrapped up a few minutes ago, and Amy Bach was on the witness stand for about an hour taking some questions from her attorney. He was asking a lot of questions about Feeding Our Future, the structure, how many employees she had. He seems to be building an argument that there were a lot of people working there besides her, and that there could be a chance that maybe she didn't know about some of the activity that was going on. That at least seems to be the case that he's building right now. Now, when they wrapped court for the day, they did say that they're going to be starting up again next Wednesday, and she'll still be on the witness stand. But all of this has been happening within the last 2 hours or so. There was a few other hours of testimony this morning and this afternoon when they interviewed an FBI accountant who shared some very interesting numbers for us today. On their final day of testimony, prosecutors called another FBI forensic accountant to the witness stand. Throughout the trial, Bach's attorney argues she didn't know fraud was being committed and that others were taking advantage of her. But this accountant argues records show how Bach managed to take some of the money for personal use. She explained how Amy Bach paid handy helpers, an alleged handyman service operated by Bach's live-in boyfriend, nearly $900,000 in less than 2 years. When they looked into the bank account for handy helpers, accountants say they couldn't find any transactions that showed supplies, parts, or anything else that would be typical for a handyman service. Accountants also discovered large transactions with more than $50,000 spent on several trips to Las Vegas, where attorneys say Bach and her boyfriend spent upwards of $2,000 per day to rent luxury cars like Lamborghinis and Rolls-Royce. Accountants say the account also showed nearly $30,000 was spent on shoes and clothing. Accountants say Bach herself was listed on the tax forms that were filed by handy helpers. Attorneys also showed the jury text messages where Bach messaged her boyfriend, quote, "Paid you $26,000 since Friday, and I can't even get talked to with respect. Don't like me? Fine. You don't love me? Fine. But expletive, respect me." The accountant also showed records that explain how interconnected many of Bach's co-defendants were. When the FBI raided one of their properties, accountants say investigators found records and meal counts from several meal sites and different businesses, all in the same room, suggesting that several were working together. The accountant says a $2 million building in Columbus, Ohio, was purchased in cash by 3 Feeding Our Future meal site operators, who all split the costs evenly. So it sounds like Amy Bach's testimony is just getting started here. As I mentioned, she's only been on the witness stand for about an hour this afternoon. Now, they're going to be taking a couple days off. They're not going to have court next Monday or Tuesday, so she will be back on the witness stand next Wednesday. Her attorney has said that he may call other witnesses as well, so we could be in for a couple more days of this trial here.
I mean, every time we do these stories, you just end up shaking your head, but that had to be quite the surprise in the courtroom when she decided to take the stand. Usually defense attorneys aren't thrilled with that idea.
Yeah, you did hear kind of a gasp from some of the people in the courtroom. And, I mentioned this earlier, that her attorney yesterday mentioned that he was kind of advising her against this. He was concerned about some of the questions that she might get from the other side. But they ultimately decided that they were going to put her on the witness stand today.
All right. Well, we'll keep updating it. Thanks so much, Gordon.